Welcome back to yet another emulation test where I'm battling the iPhone 16 Pro Max with the latest Apple A18 Pro, which is a killer bit by the way, versus this little phone. But don't underestimate this little phone with only a 6.36 inches diagonal, because that's the Xiaomi 15 using the Snapdragon 8 Elite. Now guys, I have spent some good quality time enabling the site GIT server on the iPhone, because without this the Play 2 emulator just simply doesn't work. It doesn't work, and we need this. So what is GIT? This is just-in-time compiler. It's used not only in Play 2 but also in other emulators because of many gains. One is of course higher speeds of emulation, and without GIT the emulator will start but it will crash and no games will run. Now in this video I want to show you two PlayStation 2 games. This is the God of War 2 and also the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Smash-Up. I'm gonna start first with this one here, the God of War. Now by the way, when I started it says GIT isn't available, but I do have it. It's enabled. Don't get me started, it was really like 2 hours of reading, so a lot of great work out there, a lot of guides and information on GitHub. So this is the God of War PlayStation 2 version running on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Now guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, if you start it, it will run quite okay and sometimes even just fine. And here you can see the FPS. By the way, if we go inside the menu, we see the options that we have. Right now I'm already using like the 4x resolution factor, but you can go between 1, 2x, 4x and 8x, which is kind of like a killer. 8x doesn't even work nice on the Xiaomi 15 with the Snapdragon 8 Elite. Now this is the introduction, and as you can see it looks quite nice. The thing is, when we go inside the game, let me show you. I'm gonna just load a state. Well, it's not great. We have these green artifacts, and I just believe it's because where the state of this emulator is, so a lot of great work has been done, but this specific game doesn't run nice, alright? But at least we can see that even on 4x we cannot achieve the thing that we can achieve with Android, and in this case with the Xiaomi 15. So guys, even if I go and choose the 8x, it's gonna be crazy, you know, like we just are barely touching like 9 FPS. But again, I'm gonna show also another game that runs better. Now I'm gonna exit this game and show you something that I believe is important. Inside the settings we have a GS handler. It is the OpenGL, and there is also the Vulkan one that is experimental, but I tried that and the result was the same. This is not the game I want to show you because this game doesn't run well with the Play 2 emulator, but this one, I do believe this one is a whole lot of story, guys. So let me just start that one, and we're gonna start slowly. All right, I'm gonna go and probably just do like 2x, okay? And I want to show you this game, and then I'm gonna start it here on the Xiaomi 15 with the Snapdragon Elite. Let's take some temp reading here, 32.7, so it's not really a lot. And then later in this video I'm going to also show you guys some PSP emulation, because this one works quite nice on the Apple iPhone. My advice is, if you wanna go with emulation, it's most probably always better to just go with Android, just because of a lot of things, but community first, a lot of people doing crazy things, and also of course you have a lot of options. Alright, now let's start the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and we're gonna be doing this here first with 2x. And by the way, here you can see the indication, so you have the frame rate. Alright. And you can see the game is actually very playable. I just need to find the right buttons. Those are not them. Alright. Okay, I think I found them. So you can see, no problem with 2x running this game. And this game is, by the way, so nice. I mean, I've just been playing it here the last half an hour. Oh my god, the games they did in the past. And now I have to fight April, and this is not great. But I will have to do it. It's just a game and it's just a test. So let's do this. Alright. You can see all the graphics. Really, really so nice. Oh my god, I want to take this thing here. And now guys, see, this is like just so good, this game. And sorry about my gaming skills, but today I tested so many emulators and games. I'm a bit overwhelmed. Now guys, I want to make this a bit more interesting, so I'm gonna go inside the settings and I'm gonna choose already like 4x. So remember, this now is 4x native PS2 resolution. Here in the left up corner, we do have the frames per second. Still, by the way, a nice job from the iPhone. Oh my god. Yeah, amazing. And now guys, I'm just gonna go inside the settings one more time, and this time it's going to be the overkill scenario 8x. All right, at 8x we see that the iPhone struggles a bit, and we are now to like 40 FPS, 30 FPS even. But again, even the Snapdragon 8 Elite was struggling with 8x on the God of 4, so I'm very thrilled to also now test the TMNT on the Snapdragon 8 Elite. Okay, so see, 8x is not very playable. We have nice graphics, but the frame rates are just bad. Okay, so this was the first test. Let's just see what iPhone is doing. Not a problem at all. Oh, and if you wonder why my iPhone is connected, because the server GT runs on my computer, right? So I have paired it to the iPhone, and yeah, I have to use the cable. And there are some other methods, but right now this is where I am too. And now guys, I have started my Xiaomi 15 exactly as on the iPhone. We're gonna be using 2x native resolution just to see, I mean, if we can work around with that. But I have a feeling that most probably in this game, the Snapdragon 8 Elite is just gonna kill it. All right.
Is this gonna take a long time? 3, 2, 1, go!
And you can see the frame rate. It says like 29 FPS. This really works like a charm. Not an issue at all, although it says here like 29 FPS. Of course I have a restriction on the FPS, but the game is very playable. Now let's go inside the settings and let's head up and directly choose the 4x, okay? 4x native PS2 resolution. And again, I have to fight April here as well, but I did it with iOS. I'm gonna do it also with Android. Now in mind, this game can be probably capped to 30 FPS, because what you see here, G is the frame rate, and V is the emulated refresh rate. That's what I read on Reddit, by the way, so I really stand corrected if that's not true. But the idea is that the gameplay is very stable, and you can see like no frames are dropped at all. It's just simply amazing. And you know what, guys? Enough is enough. Now let's go for the heaviest, 8x. This is gonna be 8x native PS2 resolution. And I'm not sure if you can see this, but it looks amazing, really.
Evildoers beware.
Wow. Oh my god. With 8x, this really looks like a whole lot of level, guys, like really like a modern game. Alright, and the 8x was not a good option for the iPhone 16 Pro Max. You know how it went. Struggling with the refreshes and with the FPS. Oh my god. Where is my jump button here? This is really so much fun with Android and specifically with the Xiaomi 15. And right now, guys, have in mind, the Xiaomi 15 and the Snapdragon 8 Elite is a very new chip, so it's gonna take a lot of time, probably weeks, months before we have like proper support drivers for the Adreno 830 and all of that. And eventually, if the community likes the performance of the Snapdragon 8 Elite, this can turn into a great optimization machine, because remember, right now we're using the NetherSX, which is already an old emulator, and this is pretty much without any kind of support whatsoever, right? At 8x, this is really so much fun to watch. You can see the graphics are not dropping, and it's really, really very good. And as I said, guys, there is a very good reason why the FPS is capped at 30 FPS. Why? Look, let me show you. If I go inside the system and I disable the frame rate limit, it's gonna go really crazy. I mean, this is not playable, but I'm just doing this for the test. Oh my god, you can see what the A18 is doing at 80 FPS, 90 FPS. Of course, it's not playable, but you can just have a good understanding on the sheer power of this thing. Let's do another 8x resolution test on the iPhone. How do we know it's 8x? We go inside the settings and we see the resolution factor is set to 8x. Alright, and you can see with the G18 enabled, it's simply, guys, yeah, not so much playable. Right. But then again, it still runs because the God of War 2 simply doesn't run. Alright, I think that's enough. Now guys, what we're gonna do, let me disconnect this. Now, with my phone disconnected, let's directly start the PSP, which is an emulator that you can download directly from the Apple Play Store. Ah, this is crazy, guys. Okay, and this here is God of War Chain of Olympus, guys. This is the PSP version. Let's dive into the settings. Right now we're using Vulkan. We can also be using the OpenGL. I'm gonna do something crazy. I'm gonna go and choose the 8x PSP. Alright, 4K. Let's just start the game like this and see how much we're gonna get from this phone and that phone. I've also enabled the FPS counter. You can see it here. But right now at 8x native PSP resolution, this is just stunning. Now, by the way, I do believe that this emulator doesn't run JIT. So again, you can just go on the Play Store, download it, and if you have the PSP games, you're more than welcome to play them and just relive your childhood. But we're not doing this only for nostalgia, which is one very big driver. We are doing this to test the iPhone 16 Pro Max with the A18 Pro versus the Xiaomi 15 with the Snapdragon 8 and now you can see I have 60 FPS. Alright, and it's game on for creators. Wow. Stable 59, 60 FPS. It's a whole different story compared to what I have seen on the PS2 emulator. And this game is a very good game. Now, if you're a fan of Kratos and God of War, you might want to just check these original titles, guys. Alright. We have some occasional drops once in a while, but overall, it's just stunning the way it works. I don't think that there is a problem for the iPhone to just hold this frame rate. Oh no, maybe too premature from me. Eventually now we're struggling. Maybe this has been an overkill, so I'm gonna go now and just reduce it to 6 times the native PSP resolution. Alright, let's see what happens with 6 times. Alright. Stable 60 FPS and not an issue at all. I hope so. Every time I say not an issue at all, guys, my phones decide to drop frames on me. But this time I do believe it's quite nice. And by the way, the PSP emulator is straight downloaded from the Google Play Store. Now backend Vulkan again. I'm gonna start with the 8x resolution. So this is 8x native PSP. Beautiful animation also on the Xiaomi 15. I'm starting to really like this little phone. The camera is okay, but please wait for my full review. I'm using this now as my main daily driver, and one of the biggest things that I like about this phone is, well, it's really small and very powerful. Okay, let's start 8x native PS3 resolution, Xiaomi 15 HyperOS version 2, 8x native PSP resolution. This is going to be insane. Can we hold here 60 FPS for longer than the iPhone did? Alright. Oh my god. It's so far not an issue at all, guys. So far this has been outstanding. Oh my god. Oh, I think this was the first time where the iPhone started to drop a bit. Let me just try to save my state. Okay. If we keep here the 60 FPS, then I will have to go and use the maximum available resolution. So let's just see what is going to happen. But right now, it's simply fantastic. Alright, you know what? I think I've seen enough, guys. Let's go inside the settings. We are gonna do the overkill, and this is 10x PSP native. Alright, maybe this is not gonna work. Oh my... Oh, Snapdragon 8 Elite. Remember, this is the latest chip from Qualcomm, built on 3nm process. Is exactly the same nm process as the Apple A18 Pro. Not a lot of support so far, I guess. Nothing really has been optimized for this chip. And you know how emulators works, guys. It's not really so much the GPU, it's the CPU emulating the host environment and all the instructions and etc. and the BIOS. This is absolutely insane and nuts. Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna pause it for a moment. Let's put 10x PSP resolution here so that we are able to compare, and I'm gonna load my save state, alright? From the exact same moment. Very good start from the iPhone. Is this really 10x? I have to check. No, it is 10x PSP resolution. Cool. Let's see for how long we can keep that one. 58. 53, 52. Oh, 49. And this is kind of like what happens when we have a lot of enemies. The iPhone will struggle, but it will deliver not a bad performance, I guess, at 10x native PSP resolution. Alright. It's not really like on the Xiaomi 15, guys. Even the sound starts to garble a bit. Not ideal. Alright. Yeah. It's definitely... Oh! We're sinking the ship, but with that we are also sinking our hopes of getting nice FPS at 10x native PSP resolution. Let's reload the state, do the fight, and see if the Xiaomi 15 with the Snapdragon 8 Elite will also try to sync the ship with sinking our hopes, or we can keep our hopes alive of 60 FPS 10x native PSP resolution. Now I know a lot of people will say, hey, why are you testing iPhones and iOS, you know, it's not good for emulation. Well, you know what, why not? I mean, if it works, I have to test it. I'm just curious to see what is gonna happen. Yeah. CD Xiaomi 15 just being an absolute beast with the PSP emulation at 10x using Vulkan is just insanely amazing. I'm really surprised. Like 10x native PSP is already a lot, and okay, I know it's a handheld, but still. And now the biggest test. Will the Xiaomi 15 sync the ship and also sync our hopes? 60 FPS, absolutely stable, nailed it. I'm really happy with the Snapdragon 8 Elite right now, at least for PSP PS2 emulation. Is the sound garbled? No. It's absolutely stunning. So guys, let me know what you think down below. We've seen PS2 and PSP emulation on both the Xiaomi 15 and the Apple 16 Pro Max. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like content like this, just go and watch some of the previous videos. Stay safe, VST over, and bye.